Hey guys, it's Ashley, and if you can notice by the blank spaces on my shelf behind me, you'll know that today I am going to be doing my July wrap-up and August TBR. So without any further ado, let's just get started. So as most of you are aware, I was participating in my own Harry Potter rereadathon and booktube challenge kind of thing. So for this month, I had to read the last 4 Harry Potter books, and I managed to do just that. So I managed to read all 4 of these this month. I'm very, very surprised that I was able to do that. Not that I'm a slow reader, because I kind of read the last one in like 4 days, but just because they're so big, and right now my arms are killing me because they're so heavy. I don't even have words just to describe how great it feels to know that I finally finished the Harry Potter series. From the moment that I started this channel, my very first video, I mentioned that I had never gotten to the 6th and 7th book, and I had been dying to do it. And since The Cursed Child is coming out this year, specifically today, the day that I'm filming this, I figured that it would be a good idea to reread and finally get to the last 2 books in the series before I decided to read that one. And after reading all of these, I'm really dying to read that book, that script, that play, whatever the hell it is. I'm really wanting to read it, but I have other priorities in August, and so I may or may not get around to that, but we'll just have to see. For the end of the rereadathon, I'm going to be posting my Harry Potter tag, which I'll talk about all of my favorites and my least favorites and everything like that. I'll post it when I end up finishing watching the movies. I am currently in the middle of the Half-Blood Prince. I keep falling asleep at the end of the movies. I fell asleep and it was like 12:30 in the morning. I'm okay with it because I know what happens, but at the same time I'm like, I kind of want to watch the movies rather than fall asleep during them. So I'll get around to watching them soon, and then you'll see my Harry Potter tag up, hopefully within the week. That's what I'm planning, okay? So within the week, be on the lookout for my Harry Potter tag. And the final book that I read in the month of July was The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I had been wanting to read this book for a really long time, and it just so happens I was waiting outside in line at the Halsey concert in Orlando in the beginning of the month, and I forgot to bring a book to read, and so I went into the Barnes & Noble that was like literally 2 feet away, and they had a small YA section, and this was one of the books in it, and so I grabbed it, and I bought it, and I started reading it, and I finished it like in the middle of the vacation that we took, which was like in 3 days, and it was really, really good. I really loved it. And in case you don't know, even though a lot of us pretty much do know what the series is about, it's pretty much about this disease that's wiped out a majority of America's children, but the people who have survived have developed these superpowers, but everybody else is afraid of them because they don't understand what's happening, and so they put all of the kids into these concentration camps. And this story is about Ruby Daly, who is in one of the camps, and she ends up escaping, and it's just kind of like her journey through finding out why all of this is happening and what's going on, everything like that. And so it's a dystopian, and it's really, really good. I'm planning on putting a spoiler-free review up on my channel of this book, so I'll get more in depth with that. Mostly it was because I forgot to take notes while I was reading it because I was on vacation, and so I don't really have specific details to point out to in the book talks, but just be on the lookout for that too. Alright, and so now I'm going to be getting into my August TBR. Now I'm really excited for this month, mostly because I'm getting to a lot of books that I had been putting off and that I had really been wanting to read for the longest time, and so I'm finally getting around to them. And I feel like you guys are going to be really excited about this because a lot of these are books that you have been telling me and telling me and telling me I have to read, and I'm finally getting to them. So I'm really excited. So the first book that I knew I absolutely had to get around to was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Come on, guys. You knew I was gonna get around to it eventually, right? I'm really pumped to read this because this is such a beloved series on BookTube. Everybody and their mother has been telling me to read this book, has been dying to wait until I read this book, and now I'm finally getting to it, so yay. I don't even know what this series is really about. I know that it's a high fantasy, and I know that it has to do with like she's an assassin or something for the king, maybe. I don't even know, honestly, but it's such a talked about series, and I'm finally getting to it. And in addition to reading this book, I am in fact buddy reading it with Keely over at Mermaid Keely, and I'll leave her channel down below. She's awesome, and she hasn't read this series either, and so we thought this was a great time to finally get into it. So I'm really excited. Oh my god. And the next book that I knew I just had to get around to is The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. You guys know how much I love Rick Riordan, right? Like, I feel like I've spoken about him enough on my channel. And you can see my Riordan shelf up here, so I just... I've been meaning to read this book forever. Well, not really forever, but since it came out in May. But I have been meaning to read this book since it came out in May, and now I'm finally going to get to it, and I'm so excited. I don't even know why I've been putting it off. I've just been reading other things rather than reading this, when I really should have just read this, because it's really small and I could get through it really fast, and I'm just... I need to read it right now. Basically, if you guys don't know what this is Rick Riordan's third series that revolves around the Greek and Roman demigods. In this book in particular, Apollo has done something to, I kind of guess, piss off Zeus, and so Zeus casts him down as a mortal 16-year-old boy on Earth, and he has to try to find his way around rather than being like this all-powerful god. And of course, there are going to be appearances from Percy and the gang, and I have all the love for his books in these series, like, all the love. So I couldn't decide what book I wanted to read next, right? I already have two that I know I'm going to read, but I didn't know what book I wanted to read next. So I went on Twitter and I made a poll, and I asked you guys which book you wanted me to read in August, and a whopping, I think 62% of the people who voted said Illuminae by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and so that is what I'll be reading. And if you guys have watched my very first book haul, you'll know how crazy obsessed I was with this book. Like, I am crazy obsessed. I am super excited to get into it, especially because it is not told in the normal novel format. It is told through emails and instant messages and correspondence through technology, and it just looks like a really awesome book, and I've heard great things about it, and I seriously cannot wait. And so I decided on picking a fourth book for the month, even though I'm not 100% sure I'll get around to it. I really want to try, and so the second most voted book on my Twitter poll was This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and so that is what I will try to get to this month too. So if I don't end up getting to this book this month, hopefully I'll get to it next month. I did receive this book in my July Owl Crate, and I'll leave the link to the unboxing that I posted down below. I really, really want to get to this book because I haven't yet read a book by Victoria Schwab, and I've heard she's an amazing author. I do have A Darker Shade of Magic and A Gathering of Shadows, and I haven't read either of them, even though I really want to. And so I am really pumped to get into this. From what I know about this book, it is about a world that is so dark and cruel that it has created these monsters itself. The whole world is about this line between human and monster and what it is to be human or monster, and I'm just really excited to get into this because I've heard it's a great book and it's a new release, and yeah, I mean, I really don't have much more to say other than that, so yay! Alright, and so that is going to be my July wrap-up and August TBR. Let me know what you thought down below, if you guys are excited for me to read any of these books or if you want to read any of these books, because I'm really pumped. As I said in the beginning, I may or may not get around to reading The Cursed Child. I didn't go to a midnight release party last night because I wanted to finish The Deathly Hallows before I got the book. So I'm planning on getting the book this month, and I may or may not read it. It just depends on how things go, but I will definitely let you guys know on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere that you may follow me. I'll let you know. So that is going to be it for my July wrap-up and August TBR. Let me know in the comments what you guys plan on reading in August, because I'm really interested in knowing what other people are reading for the month. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified of when I upload new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye!